Today I'm going to look at answering some questions that came in. Well, the first question I'm going to tackle is something we do get asked quite a lot, which is what needles should I use, what thread should I use for different things. Now, when I started, I did find it quite confusing myself, and I have made a whole kind of blog and table that shows all the stitching chisels and then which needles kind of work with it and which threads. So that is on the website, and I will put a link below. But the question I had was that somebody had two repairs. One was a very heavy leather with quite a thick contrasting thread through it, and the other was quite a fine one. So it was like, what needle, what thread for both of those projects. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity to talk needles and threads. Now, I'm a little bit sad, and I like to make a little needle case. Now, I made this when I very first came to the Identity store, and it's very old and battered now, and I've added into it different sections because my needle collection has grown. So what we have here is the needles that come in the assorted needle pack. Now, I really love this pack because it has two curved needles, and if you're doing repairs, having a curved needle, so we bought, sorry, this is going to be like me chatting on, but anyway, bear with me. We bought a sofa from a charity shop, and it was £100 for a leather sofa, massive sofa, because it had a split this big in the seam, and literally it was just some stitching coming undone. Now, this is where the curved needles came in. Rather than taking the whole thing off and trying to stitch it back together, it was machine stitch from the back, I was able to use the curved needle and just pull those threads through the existing holes and weave it back, and I would never have been able to find where I even repaired it afterwards. So they are really useful things for being able to work from the top and just being able to catch, particularly for upholstery. So having a curved needle in your set is just something I recommend as a little aside in the assorted needle pack. And there are some other good needles in there which have quite sharp, and there's one that has this kind of jagged bit as well, which is quite useful. However, the question was about needles for hand sewing, saddle stitching. So when I started out, I've always used these large eye stitching needles, and these are the cheapest needles we do. They're our best-selling needle. They're easy to use because they have a large eye, as the name suggests. You probably see that there. Now, that makes them really easy to thread with whichever thread you're using, whether you're using whatever the width of thread is, you can really thread it easily. The only thing, when you get a little bit better with your stitching, that you will find with these is that because they've got a large eye, now see if I can pop it, I'm going to pop it there. You probably can see it goes wider from the point here. It widens out to take account of the eye. Now, that has an implication for when you're going through your stitching chisel places. So if you've got a large eye, you'll probably find this first bit will go through fine, but when you get to here, there's resistance. I think you can probably see it, I can feel it, because it's quite warm today, so my fingers are sliding. So it will go through, but there's more resistance. Now, particularly when you're then going back through your saddle stitch and you've already got another thread in there as well, you start to get more resistance, which is why when you get a little bit better, it's good to move on to harness needles. So harness needles come out of the saddlery tradition as implied, and they come in 3 different sizes. This is the largest one. Now you'll see on here the eye is quite small, but that means that it's definitely tapered, so you can barely see it if I go like that. It's just there's no width coming out for the eye. It just means you need to take a little bit more time to thread it, but not a problem. So I would say to have in your kit, I think the large eye stitching needles are a really good thing just to have because they're sometimes just a quick fix thing. But I would have one of each of the stitching needle sizes. The answer to the question for this chap who was doing the repairs was to have the large and the small. because he was doing fine and heavy work. But then you can start to see why you might want to put several into your kit. Now, one of the things that can happen, we always sell them in packs of 10 per the size, because let's face it, we all get through and we all break needles. These will break a lot less than these ones, the large eye. So with the large eye, as mentioned with this thick wider bit, what also happens is because you get more friction going through and you're wriggling like that, you start to warm up and heat this thin bit of the eye. I mean, this is true for any needle, to be honest. So any more wriggling where your stitching is not kind of going through, this is where your needles typically break at the eye point. You're probably all nodding, thinking, yeah, that's happened to me. So it's just where they've got hot from friction and the pressure's just made them too soft, and it's just easy for it to snap and break out. It happens. It's not a thing that's wrong about doing leather work. It's just you're working with kind of a heavier material than you would be with fabrics. So you do get through your needles. It's fine, but these will get through a lot less than the large eye stitching needles. I would say I get through a lot less on my harness needles. So for the threads, so the eye, when you go to the harness needle small, is small. So you would not be able to get a 1mm tiger thread or a 1mm braided cord, this is our braided cord, through so easily. But if I take this large one, I can get the 1mm thread through. Now, I could probably go down a massive rabbit warren talking about all the things to do with thread sizes, 3/25, all that kind of thing. There's quite a bit of that in the blog bit. It's much easier just to know what kind of width is it. Is it kind of 1mm? Is it 0.8mm? Is it 0.6mm? It's much easier to visualize than understanding the 3/25, the weights, 8 ounce, this kind of thing. It doesn't have any relevance to when you're actually stitching and when you're looking at something visually. I'm a really visual person, so for me it's much easier for me to understand that this is a thickness, and then there's a thinner thickness, and then there's a thinner thickness. So on the website we sell 3 thicknesses. We sell this one, so this is part of our braided cord range, which comes in lots of lovely colours, including a multicoloured kind of transitional one. So that's kind of, you can see there already, that's good. Now this is great for contrast stitching, and a lot of things when you're making your stitching choice, it's your thread choice, it's an aesthetic. It's, do you want to have a contrast top stitch that's going to show? Do you want it to be more discreet and laid back into it? Are you making something that's like a knife sheath where it's quite heavy looking and using thick leather, in which case the thicker thread looks more in keeping? If you were using a thicker thread on a really fine goat skin or calf skin leather wallet, it would just look too heavy and too wrong. So it's just, there kind of is, that's where your decision making comes. Sometimes you will deliberately put something in because you're going to be decorative. So these are some kind of things I play around with stitching on leather. So these are using the thicker braid on this one. So this is the braided cord in the tiger thread red, and then I've used a much thinner 0.8mm to just weave a centerpiece. So these are just things I've been playing around with. So the 3 threads: braided cord, Ritza tiger thread, 1mm, and we actually have a heavier one even than that as well on the website, just in dark brown, I think. Now, when you've got braided cords like the Ritza and this one, they are designed to be flat as well. So if you can probably see the profile, I'm not sure how easy that is to see, but rather than being a twisted thread, these are designed to be flat. So again, when you've got your stitching really mastered, these give you a much nicer lay of your stitch down. So you're going to get this lovely kind of smooth stitch. It just takes a little bit more time to make sure you're not twisting it through as you're stitching, which is very easy to do. So the next one down is a 0.8. We have that in the tiger thread in the braided, which again gives you that flat profile. Or my go-to really is the starter little bobbin reels we do, £4.20. Probably, anyway, I probably shouldn't put that bit in case the price changes, but at the moment they are. Time of recording. So these are a twisted synthetic, and they are 0.8 mil, and we have them in white, brown and black. Not a great deal of choice, but those cover most eventualities. It's really great. What I really love about this is it's really nicely waxed, so you get a really nice tension with your stitching, and you get a nice pull through with your as you're pulling your needle through, which again helps to preserve the life of your needle. So this is probably my go-to thread that I use the most of the time for almost everything. So you can see the difference there between those two, even just on the screen. So this will thread through the smaller harness needle very easily. So this is my small harness needle in here, and I can just thread that nicely. Now, the other thing that happens quite a lot when you're using wax thread is that you get quite a wax build up in the eye. So one thing that's really useful to do is to just dip it in some boiling water to melt the wax out every now and then. So I can see this has loads of wax already in the eye, and that's causing my end to split. So I'm going to go for another one that's got a clean eye. And I'm just pinching the end together, and probably should have my other glasses on, but there we go. That is through. And there we go. So it's much more straightforward to use. So I would use this on the harness needle size 1 and size 2. And for size 3, I'd use a 1 mil thickness. So harness needle size 1 and 2 also just go through really much easier through your stitching holes. So when you're making your stitching holes with the chisels, the thicker your leather is, the thinner your hole is at the back here. So something you want, this is partly why people will use a Dremel when they're going through all those different layers of a knife sheath, for example, when you've got something that thick, because you want that whole shaft going down all the way through to make the stitch hole even top and bottom, because by the time you've put any kind of stitching awl or chisel through with the tapering, you can end up with your holes at the back being a bit too small, and you're fighting with your needle when you're coming back up through the other side. So that was the 0.8 thread, and then we have a finer one again, which is a 0.6. So you just need to look for fine thread on the website. It's the only one we've got there, and that one is, as I say, 0.6, and it's a really lovely wax thread. It comes in 4 colours, including a really nice natural colour, which is quite sort of beigey tone, I suppose, but it's quite nice actually for a contrast for things. So that's the 0.6, and then we have 0.8 in tiger thread, which is flat, or our 1227 bobbin thread. And we have another thread that you might see on the site, which is designed to fill up the lock stitch sewing awl bobbins, which are the little tiny round bobbins that you'll see. And this is the sort of big version of it, I guess, but it is actually a 0.8 mil, and it is actually the same as this 1227. So this just gives you a bigger version, which will keep you going for quite a long time, to be honest with you. It's great value way to buy it, and there's a lot on there. So that's the 0.8 mil big reel, if you like. So those are those threads, and that gives you a bit more of an idea on your needles. And there's one other needle I just want to talk to you about, and that is the glover's needle. So normally when we're stitching our leather, we've always got our holes made with our chisel first, and we're using our wax thread saddle stitch. But when we come to do some repairs or some work that we're working on, we might be working on very fine and soft leather, gloving leather, suedes, you know, this sort of thing. This is a new leather we're getting in, which I'll talk to you about in a bit. But this sort of thing, if you wanted to do any hand sewing on it, I mean, I do have chiseled this to sew, but you can also use a glover's needle. Now, a glover's needle, the difference with that to any of the other needles is it has a diamond tip that's very sharp. So what you're then doing is you're sewing through I'm going to show you this. This is something I made using the glover's needle. So I actually used it for embroidery. Now, because this needle is sharp, I have it here in my little section that says sharp needles, and I have a little cover over it just to remind me. And I have one here, which I'm gonna, now that's, so here we go. So they tend to be a lot smaller because obviously you're using finer. The eye tends to be reasonable, but you've got quite a diamond. I can't really show that very well, but take my word for it, it's very sharp. So what you don't want to do, I'll put a close-up picture of it. It might show up better on here, look. Can you see that they are really tapered in and you've got this sharp point to them? So these will pierce through pretty much most leather thicknesses, probably up to around 1.5 mil, I would say, from fine leathers. And again, they come in different sizes. So the finer the leather, the smaller the needle. They are really, really good. Now, the only thing when you're stitching with these is they're good for doing hair on as well. But when you're using these, when you commit to making the hole, that's it. You've made the hole. So one of the things you want to think about is perhaps maybe if you want your stitches to look even, is to maybe you can get your stitching wheel. If you have one of those wheels that turns, you can run it through an ink pad and then run that over to just give you some marked dots, or you can just mark out with a pen and against a ruler before you start so that you know. So when I did this, I actually did a whole dot drawing. And I do have the templates for this if anybody wants to do some embroidery. In fact, I think there might be 1 or 2 of these kits left on the website. Not many, but there was a couple left, I think. So if you want to do that, you really need to think about it. Now, I did a whole chair, which it's in the other room, but I will put a picture up of it during COVID because, you know, that was when we had really time to commit to doing a massive embroidery on a chair of gloving leather. And it was great fun to do, but it was really nerve-wracking because you had to plan the stitch hole and then plan not to have the stitch hole too near to it so that you would almost join the 2 holes together and tear. So it was very interesting. But I do love to have a gloving needle in my kit. Again, it's just one of those things that there are times when you want to just be able to pick up and just do that kind of stitching. So in terms of putting your kit together, I would say consider having a curved needle. I would have the harness needle size 1, 2 and 3. And I would probably have a middle size gloving needle. And that would give you a really good basic range that would pretty much cover any of the leathercraft you'll ever be needing to look at or do, or any repairs you might want to do as well. So if you have any questions on all of that, come back to me and we can talk on another time about different types of stitching as well.